So, with a new season, we have always a lot of new move updates. But also, with that, the meta is going to shift generally quite a bit to make Pokemon that maybe didn't receive a move update also a little bit better and a little bit worse. Here's the thing, I made a list already on the site on Pokemon that got buffed and Pokemon that got nerfed without being actually changed. If you want to see another video as well towards the nerfs for Pokemon that you maybe don't know, like use nowadays anymore or like don't want to use it as much anymore, then let me know down below. But today we're going to take a look at the top 10 secret buffs, so Pokemon that didn't receive any kind of direct buffs, but are still going to be a bit stronger in the current meta and are Pokemon that I would recommend you to try out. And so, if you enjoy this type of videos, I would always, of course, appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to this channel, helps me out a ton, as we can now move on to Pokemon I'm on. Which Pokemon got buffed without getting buffed? It is, of course, Azumarill. This is most likely the strongest kind of Pokemon here that kinda got buffed. And the thing is as well, I kinda always want to take a look at why this Pokemon is a little bit better, because there are also some arguments about why it may be worse. For example, Ludicolo is there. Ludicolo is a bad matchup for you. Ludicolo is going to be a Pokemon that you're not going to be able to beat, but Ludicolo is also kinda lower ranked. So why do I think that this Pokemon is going to be a bit stronger, and why even the rating is always going to be, by the way, increasing as well, just for me to have... I can make, of course, the argument of being like, this Pokemon is going stronger, but if the ranking decrease on PvPoke always looks a little bit silly, it's now number 2 spot now on PvPoke. This is the thing where I went to, like, which Pokemon got a ranking increase as well, and why is this the case. And if we're going to take a look at, of course, the move updates generally, we have move updates towards Ice-type Pokemon. Ice, resisted by water, you're going to be able to kind of deal with them. Azumarill, for example, is a hardwood to the Titan, which is going to have ice and fighting type moves, which both going to be resisted. Or you're going to be able to kind of wall even the Celio. In kind of cases, you're going to only take neutral damage from the Body Slam. For the Warrior, it's only the Earthquake that they can go for, the rest is going to be resisted. Then we're going to have Pokemon like Gourgeist, which is going to be a bit stronger, but Gourgeist also has like Incinerate as a false move, which is resisted. You still have Ice Beam against it. It's not the worst for Azumarill. Azumarill is like one of those interesting Pokemon that has a very good typing, but B, also a very good move pool in order to cover up a lot of the weaknesses. Otherwise, we have Blaziken that got buffed, a Pokemon that's going to be able to use fire and fighting type moves. Azumarill is going to be a sponge for that. Otherwise, we don't have Awkward Tail on Milotic, which I don't really think is that important, but we have the Foul Play buff, which is going to be something that, of course, is going to be, impacting Dark-type Pokemon, which Azumarill can beat. And then we're going to have the one reason why I do actually think this Pokemon is going to be quite a bit stronger, is that Dedenne is gone. Parabolic Charge got nerfed, and this makes Azumarill basically way stronger, because one of the biggest answers to this Pokemon is now gone, and this makes Azumarill a very strong Pokemon to run. And so, this is going to be number 1 for this list. Let's take a look at the next Pokemon. Furret. Furret is here, and Furret is here kind of as an example for a lot of other normal type Pokemon that kind of got buffed without being buffed. We see it here as well. Furret is going to be able to even have a ranking increase here, and generally is looking absolutely fantastic in the meta. There are some Pokemon that are having some coverage against this thing, like of course we have the Aura Sphere on the Blaziken, we have Superpower on the Titan, we have Sacred Sword on some of the Pokemon as well, which is going to allow them to at least hit Furret for some super effective damage. But then again, against Pokemon like, for example, the Doublade or the Aegislash, you still have super effective fast move damage against them. That's going to be kind of nice for you. You're going to have a lot of Ghost-type Pokemon coming up there as well now, with the Shadow Ball being cheaper, with Pokemon like Dalmace getting Brutal Spring, for example. But also then you have Trailblaze as a coverage on this Pokemon, which is going to help you out against the Water-type Pokemon, like the Azumarill, which we just discussed previously, which makes Furret definitely a Pokemon that you want to build for the upcoming season, and it's definitely a Pokemon I would really recommend you to get one for you. Alright, Bastiodon is a Pokemon that, of course, is generally always a strong Pokemon, but now we have the thing for this thing, that we're going to have Ice-type Pokemon being a little bit more common, which of course makes Bastiodon a stronger Pokemon to run, but not only this, you're also going to have just very much neutral play against nearly everything. You're going to climb up by 2 ranks here, and generally the rating on the right side actually went down a little bit. But basically what you're going to have here, you have a lot of Pokemon like, you're going to have more Frosters most likely around, which you're going to be able to beat. You have even against Celio, you still do super effective fast move damage, they only have to go for Surf against you. You will most likely be even able to take 2 Surfs there, while they cannot take a Stone Edge. We have Warrain, we have the Titan, which Titan has superpower now, but generally speaking, I do think that the Bastion is going to be even stronger this season. I think it's a very good Pokemon. Yeah, there's nothing really that, like, it's just good. Like, it's, like, that's the thing, like, we have a lot of Ice-type Pokemon buffed, it's a Rock-type Pokemon. makes sense that this Pokemon is going to have a lot of play. This is kind of what I mean with it. I think Bastiodon is just going to be here to stay. It's a very, very good Pokemon, and with a Spectrum buff 2 seasons ago, this thing is just hitting quite too hard for the fast move, but yeah, it's a very good Pokemon to have, so definitely get yourself Bastiodon. Fun fact though, the normal one actually got increased, the Shadow Bastiodon kind of went down, and I do think it's because of some of the damage ranges against you defensively, because I do think that if you are Shadow Bastiodon, 2 Shadow Surfs most likely knock you out from the Celio, which is, I think, like one of those things where you just won't have the non-Shadow one. Non-Shadow is better than the Shadow Bastiodon, just generally in 99% of the cases. So, Blastoise, a Pokemon again that's going to be quite good against the current meta, and the main reason for this is A, you have a Rollout as your fast move, which is going to be super effective against any kind of Ice-type Pokemon. B, you're going to be good against the Pokemon that are already kind of on the list here as well, against, for example, Azumarill. You can just go, Skullbash Rollout, and you're going to be kind of fine against this Pokemon. See, this Pokemon was already strong before, and you're going to have, resistance as well against ice with this thing. So, like, you're going to be able to just kind of deal with the current top meta with it. You are quite neutral against basically everything in the meta. There's not really a hard answer to you, like, literally. I don't think there's really a hard answer to Blastoise. I do think it's, like, one of those Pokemon that, honestly, I haven't really tried Blastoise yet. I don't know why, but Blastoise is, like, one of the strongest Pokemon so far, from what I've seen, and it's just gonna be better next season. One issue again for this Pokemon is you kind of have the Ludicolo, which double resists the water type damage, but also you're still going to be able to outspeed Ludicolo, and you have Skullbash against it, so like it's not even the worst matchup ever either. If I look into the list here as well, I have it on the side open as well. I look sometimes here. There's not really a Pokemon that I feel like you have to be scared of, like, at all. Like Parabolic Charge, for example, got nerfed again, which is going to be good for you as well, because the Denny is going to be gone. Like, I don't think there's anything you really have to be worrying about. So, like, that makes Blastoise quite a strong Pokemon for the upcoming season. And we can enter Wigglytuff. This is one of the Pokemon that I would really recommend you to build. There's going to be again an increase of Dark and Ghost type Pokemon in the upcoming meta. And Wigglytuff is a Pokemon that resists both Verb and also going to be able to hit those Dark type Pokemon for some super effective damage. For example, Sableye as well as the Spiritomb both are going to be stronger in the upcoming meta, which makes this Pokemon definitely look a bit stronger there as well. We have a lot of Ghost types coming up there. Otherwise, you're just going to be quite neutral against nearly everything. Like, you're going to be able to resist the fast move of Ludicolo, for example, which makes it, again, very, very solid. You're going to have, just generally quite a lot of Pokemon where you're going to have some sort of play against in the upcoming meta. And so, with Shadow Ball being one of the strongest moves now in the game, and Foul Play being buffed as well, I think that the Wigglytuff is going to have quite a lot of play for the upcoming season. And I think you should, if you haven't done this yet, build one anyway. It's one of the strongest Pokemon throughout the last 10 seasons, I think, already at this point. Wigglytuff has been just very meta dominant, and I can't see that this will change anytime soon, to be fair. Seaking Victory. We're going to have a Pokemon that you might not really expect on this list here that didn't get buffed directly either, but it's kind of here for similar reasons, like Azumarill as well as Blastoise. You're going to have a Water-type Pokemon that is going to be able to beat Ice-type Pokemon while also being able to resist the damage of it. And this is kind of one of the main reasons why this Pokemon is so cool. It has a Peck, Drill Run, as well as the Icy Wind, not relying on any kind of Water-type stab or anything like this. It's just going to be quite a nice neutral Pokemon, but you're also going to be able to hit Pokemon like Bastiodon here for double super effective damage. And that makes this Pokemon quite interesting. It's going to be able to resist the ice and water type damage from a lot of the Pokemon in the current meta. You're going to have a super effective fast move damage against, for example, even the Ludicolo, which can allow you to win this matchup as well, with Icy Wind there as well against it. You resist, for example, the fast move of the Gourgeist, which you're going to be able to counter as well with Peck and Icy Wind. You have just a lot of play against the current meta with this thing. You have a super effective fast move and shelter move coverage against Blaziken. You are just generally a Pokemon that is super underrated in the meta. You have super effective coverage against all of the different Weather Ball users that got added this season, which is kind of cool as well. And with that, Seaking is going to be one of those Pokemon that you maybe didn't really expect here, but it just got into the top 100, because also, again, the Denny got nerfed, which is really important for it as well. But generally, it has great coverage against the current meta, and just going to be an amazing save-up. Like, this Pokemon is going to be buffed definitely for the next season, just because it fits better into the meta that we're going to expect, at least for the next season. Fortress. actually surprised about it because you have some fire type update there as well, with Blaziken getting Ember, and we're going to have Incinerate, of course, on the Gogas, as well as you have Weather Wall Fire on the Solrock. So like you have some more fire type coverage in the meta with the recent update. But also you have a lot of ice types, and you have a steel type here again that's going to be able to resist ice type damage, having access against like those ice types with Rock Tomb, which is going to be absolutely amazing. You have Sand Tomb or Earthquake as an alternative option there. You are doing super effective damage against the Ludicolo. You have quite a lot going for you. Like honestly, Fortress is going to be quite a bit better, even in my opinion, than Scizor. Scizor got a 1 rank increase as well, which didn't make it on the list. There are a lot of Pokemon that didn't make it on the list, by the way, again. But yeah, I do think that Fortress is going to be quite a bit stronger this season, which I don't like. I actually really don't like battling against Pokemon. It's like one of like, if I could decide like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of, I would say 3 Pokemon. This would be one of them, definitely. It would be maybe my first, I think would be Credilli, just because I'm too annoyed of it. But Fortress is like one of the Pokemon that I hate going up against, and for good reason, because it's so strong. It is just a strong Pokemon, and that's all why, basically. It's just very, very impactful, and it's going to be even stronger this season. It has a lot of play against the current meta, and the Ice-type meta is just making it stronger again. Also, by the way, forgot about just saying that, you're going to have double super effective damage against Melema, like one of the best Pokemon there as well, which got buffed with Foul Play again. So the next two are going to be a bit funny because they're kind of the same Pokemon. We have Castform, Sunny, with the Weather Ball Fire, Ember, and Solar Beam. And again, this Pokemon actually got buffed, which is interesting. And the main reason for that is, of course, the Ice typing. The result of that is also that like Steel types are a little bit more common, which is again great for Fire type Pokemon. For Fire type Pokemon, they definitely have a lot of play there. You have Meteor Mesh being buffed as well, and something like Lucario, which you're going to be able to then also hit for super effective damage. Don't think we're going to see a lot of Lucario. You're going to be able to throw a hard counter Pokemon like the Gourgeist. You're going to have play against a lot of the Pokemon that are just Ice type. That's mainly the reason why it's here. It's because the Ice typing is just going to be very common. You're going to be good against even the, what's called? Clefable. Clefable going to mainly run Mostly Fairy as well as Steel type Stab. Everything going to be resisted on the Fire type Pokemon, and so Sunny Castform honestly is going to be a fun Pokemon to run, especially with Solar Beam having access as well here to a nuke move that could hit something like an Azumarill for super effective damage. I do think that Castform is going to be an amazing Pokemon for the new season, and again, didn't get changed, but is going to be stronger, so this is kind of interesting. We have 2 more to go. The next one is kind of similar though. It's going to be Ninetales. Ninetales, I can literally just kind of skip over it. It's the exact same. It's the exact same as we just had here as well. Yeah, Ice-type Pokemon more common. Ninetales is just the more even premier Ember plus Weather Ball Fire user. You can use Overheat. I actually don't really like Overheat. It makes sense in a lot of cases, so don't get me wrong. But I like to have coverage on my Pokemon. So like either Solar Beam or Scorching Sands, this Pokemon can learn as well, or Psyshock even. But yeah, Overheat makes, I guess, more sense in terms of the ranking system here, because you can maybe win more neutral matchups for that. But if you want to destroy, like for example, a Bastion, Scorching Sands is a lot of fun. Like Scorching Sands is a lot of fun for this Pokemon. I think it's a cool Pokemon to run with it. And it could actually be quite nice even together as a backline with like the Blaziken. But yeah, Ninetales going to be a good Pokemon next season. Going to be getting a very good buff as well by 24 ranks without getting changed anything towards it. Just showcases on how impactful the Ice type change is. And so, question, before we have the final Pokemon, what could you think it's going to be here? So, what is the meta? We have the meta where Steel types are going to be more common. We have the meta where Ice types are going to be more common, Dark types are going to be more common, and Ghost types being more common. Is there a Pokemon that beats all 4 of those types? And doesn't really like the Denny either? Yes, Pangoro. Pangoro is going to be absolutely top meta next season. This Pokemon is going to be a fun Pokemon to run, of course. You have Scrafty as an alternative, by the way, which is also going to be a little bit better, but they didn't get into the top 100 with it. But Pangoro gets a ginormous increase here, and it's just because of the meta shift. Nothing really else towards this Pokemon, because as you gotta see here, 25 ranks higher up without getting a change to itself, but getting a 35 win rate to 16 losses. Like, you just basically gain plus 10 more matchups that you're going to be able to win for the upcoming season. This makes Pangoro one of the strongest new Pokemon in the GO Battle League. You see on the right side the chart of Pokemon that you beat with this thing. This is the best anti-meta Pokemon. Full stop. That's it. Like, I can't say anything about it. Otherwise, this is going to be the best anti-meta Pokemon for the upcoming season. You barely have Pokemon that are going to be able to beat it. It's basically only the fairy types. And that is it. Like, Pangoro is just busted. This Pokemon is absolutely broken without even getting a change, which is something like I've done doing this type of series like already for ages now. I have not seen, I think, a change like this for a Pokemon that didn't get changed. Like, I have not seen something like this, where all of a sudden the Pokemon here is becoming absolute top meta threat, destroying basically everything, just because the meta got shifted in a way where everything kinda works perfectly for this Pokemon. Like, literally everything works perfectly, even like the other boss here. We have like Sacred Sword being added, which in theory you think, oh, good against Pangoro. But we have it added to like Steel-type Pokemon. Like, that you're going to be able to beat anyway. Ghost-type Pokemon, you're going to be able to beat anyway. Dark-type Pokemon, totally fine. Super Power being added against the Titan. You're still gonna outspeed it and destroy it. You don't have to care about what the Titan does. The Titan gets to their moves after 5 fast moves. You too. And you're going to be able to just knock them out with 1 close combat. Goodbye there. What else do we have? Astonish on the Ludicolo. Resisted damage. Oops. Not really that threatening as well either. We're going to have the Powder Snow Lady. Going to be destroying this one. Media Match. I guess like Lucario could be actually a bit awkward because they have super effective damage against you as well with a fast move. Yeah, we have Hydreigon, nobody's gonna run it, but even then, 1 close combat, goodbye. We have the Gorgeist, Night Slash coverage for that one. We're going to have the Dudunsparce getting Body Slam. We have basically play against everything. Then we're gonna take a look at the Weather Ball users. We talked about Ludicolo already. We have then the Confusion user and the 2 Psywave users as the other Weather Ball Pokemon, which are all going to be weak to the Night Slash, as well as going to be doing only resisted fast move damage against you. We have Foul Play being buffed, which is great. Get more Dark-type Pokemon out for this thing. We have Ghost-type moves being buffed. You see the point basically. Pangoro is absolutely broken for the upcoming season. This is a Pokemon that you really want to build. And this is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see the top 10 nerfs, then let me know down below, and I will see you then. Bye bye.